The Galactic Supreme Court was silent. It was shaped like a giant oval, floating in orbit around the gas planet Rether. Inside, there were no walls, only glowing energy fields that shimmered like slow lightning. The air was clean but heavy, as if the walls remembered every judgment ever passed here. At the center of the court stood a tall, glowing platform. On that platform stood Dr. Aaron Vale, the only human in the chamber. His wrists were locked in magnetic cuffs. His black coat was torn. One eye was swollen. But he was smiling. 20 steps ahead stood his accuser, a massive alien soldier named Commander Irek of the Crawl. He was over 9 feet tall, covered in dark red armor, with deep scars across his arms and neck. His face was like stone carved. By war, he had killed many humans during the last battle of the Earth Rebellion. Eric stood still, holding a long metal staff. His voice was cold and robotic, powered by the machine implants in his throat. This human, Iraq said, committed crimes against the Galactic Order. He stole military technology. He attacked a crawl outpost. He endangered the peace between Earth and the Council. Aaron did not respond. His eyes were on the judges, 12 alien leaders from 12 powerful species. They sat in a circle above him, floating in tall chairs, made of glass and crystal. One judge, a green-skinned elder from the Jorian Empire, leaned forward. Dr. Vale, do you have anything to say before we pass judgment? Aaron looked around slowly. Then he did something no one expected. He laughed. Small chuckle at first, then louder, then unstoppable. The entire court froze. The laughter echoed through the chamber, like broken glass on steel floors. Irek's eyes glowed red. One of the guards near the wall, a lizard-like being with armor scales, took a step forward. Hand on his weapon. The judges looked at each other in confusion and anger. The Jorian judge spoke again, voice sharp now. Dr. Vale, this is not a place for humor. But Aaron kept laughing. Then he stopped suddenly. He stared at Irek with calm eyes and said, "You call this justice? You don't even know what you're dealing with." Irek stepped forward, slamming the base of his staff on the ground. "You insult the court. You mock me. Do you wish to die, human?" Aaron raised an eyebrow. "I already did," he said softly. "The day your people bombed my research station on Titan. But today, something else dies." The crawl soldier roared and broke free from his standing position. It happened in less than 2 seconds. The energy shackles on Irak's arms sparked and then shattered. He lunged forward towards Aaron with a deep, thunderous growl that shook the chamber. Judges screamed. Security systems activated. Red sirens flashed across the energy walls. 2 alien guards reached for their weapons. One of them shouted, "Protect the witness. Lock the human down." Aaron didn't move. He stayed calm. And then something strange happened. All the tech in the courtroom began to flicker. The lights dimmed. Weapons failed to respond. The floating judge chairs lowered suddenly. One by one, power systems blinked out. For exactly 5 seconds. Just 5 seconds. And in those 5 seconds, the impossible happened. 5 seconds earlier, inside Aaron's coat, stitched into the inner pocket, was a tiny device no bigger than a tooth. It was made from parts taken from crawl communication chips. He had built it during his 4 weeks in the detention cell. It was a tech jammer. But not just any jammer. It could shut down all alien systems nearby. But only for 5 seconds. That's all he needed. Back to the courtroom. Irak's armor stopped glowing. The staff in his hand lost power. The guards' weapons turned into dead metal sticks. And Aaron? He moved fast. Using the distraction, he broke free of his own cuffs, pulling a hidden trigger inside the sleeve. His hands were free now. He didn't attack. He didn't run. He stepped toward Irek. The alien was still in mid-leap but had lost momentum when the armor failed. Aaron moved past him smoothly, catching the edge of the staff as it fell. The moment power came back on, Aaron already had the weapon in hand. He pointed it at the judges. "Court's now in session," he said coldly. "And this time, humans get to speak." The chamber was still in chaos. The tech rebooted. Security bots moved in from the walls. Dozens of guards pointed their now active weapons at him. YR Rack growled and pushed himself up, now filled with rage. "Kill him." One of the judges shouted. "No," said another. "Let him speak." A strange tension filled the air. The Galactic Court had never been disrupted like this before. Never had a prisoner taken control of a hearing, and never had a human stood with a weapon in front of the council. "Do you know what this place really is?" Aaron said. "It's a theater. You put on a show. You play judge and jury, but the sentence is already written." He looked up, locking eyes with the jury and judge. "You never planned to let Earth speak. You were going to make me an example, but today, I am the example." Iraq rushed forward again. Aaron spun the staff. In one hand, pressed a side button, and the weapon activated with a loud hum. A blue pulse shot forward and struck the alien's chest, sending him sliding back into a wall. The alien groaned, not dead, but hurt. The guards started stepping closer. Aaron raised the weapon toward them. "Stop." And they did that because now the camera drones floating above had turned on. Every word, every move was now being broadcast live to dozens of planets. Someone behind the scenes was helping him. Aaron didn't know who, but it had started. The real trial. Flashback, 1 week ago inside a secret Earth bunker. High Command had one mission. "If Aaron can make them listen, we may not need war," said General Hughes. "But if they try to silence him?" Asked another. "Then we show them," Hughes said, "that Earth doesn't beg, we fight." They had planted backdoors in the Galactic Court's communication systems. They knew Aaron would only get one chance. They trusted him with the trigger. And a message, back to present. "I'm not here to escape," Aaron said, lowering the staff. "I'm here to show you something." He reached into the coat again. This time, he pulled out a small cube. He tapped it once. A hologram opened. Images appeared, footage of alien labor camps. Human children behind energy fences. Earth scientists forced to work in toxic mines under crawl control. The judges gasped. The footage was real. Unedited. And it was now live across the galactic net. One judge whispered, "These were supposed to be destroyed." Aaron looked at Iraq. "You call us criminals. But who built the cages?" The chamber was silent again, but not peaceful. Because now the tide was turning. The doors of the courtroom opened. 3 alien ambassadors entered, uninvited. One of them, a tall bird-like creature from the Threx Confederacy, shouted, "This trial is over. The galaxy needs to hear what the humans have to say." Iraq, bleeding and humiliated, rose again. "This is war." Aaron nodded slightly. "No," he said. "This is truth, and truth always begins with chaos." The screen cut to black. Aaron Vale stood in the center of the Galactic Court, holding the staff of a crawl warrior. He looked calm, but inside, his heart was racing. Not because of fear, but because the plan was working. Around him, the alien judges were silent. The guards were frozen, unsure if they should shoot or wait. Even Commander Iraq, the towering war-scarred alien who had tried to crush Aaron moments ago, sat stunned against the wall, and in Aaron's hand, a small silver cube, a cube holding something. Powerful truth. The footage from alien prison camps was now spreading across the galaxy. Billions were watching. And Aaron wasn't done. He turned slightly, raised the cube, and said in a steady voice, "This is just the beginning. I have more." 10 days earlier. Location: Earth's hidden outpost, Moonside 9, inside a cold underground lab. 3 humans stood around a glowing workbench. Aaron Vale, his eyes tired but focused, adjusted a small chip between 2 magnetic prongs. "Are you sure this will work?" asked Dr. Laney, an eye specialist. "It has to," Aaron said. If the alien court blocks my voice, I'll speak through the galaxy itself. General Hughes stood nearby, arms crossed. Explain it simply, the general said. Aaron held up a thin black rectangle with glowing green lines. This is our wild card. It was a microburst transmitter stolen from a crashed crawl ship 5 years ago. But Aaron had modified it. Instead of sending normal signals, it would hijack the Galactic Court's entire broadcast system for exactly 5 seconds. 5 seconds? Laney asked. That's not enough time. It is, Aaron replied, if I break the system during the right moment. He looked at the cube sitting beside the device, filled with secret recordings, smuggled documents, and hidden truth. When the lies fall, he said, I want the galaxy to see what stands behind them. Back to the courtroom, present day. The cube now hovered above Aaron's palm, projecting blue light. The aliens could see everything: mining slaves, injured children, beaten scientists. Earth's truth, finally exposed. One of the judges, a yellow-skinned being from the Track Alliance, slammed a clawed hand on his platform. This is illegal. You cannot interrupt official broadcast frequencies. I know, Aaron said, but you interrupted our lives first. From behind, Commander Iraq growled again, lifting himself slowly from the floor. You planned this. You planned to humiliate me, to make fools of us. Aaron didn't turn to him. I planned to survive. The humiliation part, you earned that yourself. The soldier roared and charged forward again. This time, Aaron didn't dodge. He tapped the staff's handle twice. BZZZZT, and a pulse wave shot out, freezing Iraq mid-motion. He fell again, armor sparking. Aaron tossed the staff aside now. The point had been made. He was no warrior. He was something more dangerous. A human with a plan. Elsewhere, across the galaxy in the Ralvina markets, aliens stopped shopping to stare at news screens. On the star station Keldros Prime, miners dropped their tools and gathered around a holowall, watching the humans speak. On Earth, people cried, seeing their pain finally shown to the galaxy. Even on the distant desert planet Morthon, where Earth slaves still worked in silence, someone smuggled a signal into a food truck. A boy, no older than 12, watched Aaron's face. He smiled. For the first time in his life, someone was speaking for him. Back in the court, the council cracks. The jury judge leaned forward, face pale. Dr. Vale, what are your demands? The room turned quiet. Aaron looked straight at him. Free all human prisoners. End the forced labor programs. Remove the human sanctions. Give Earth a voice at the galactic table. And if we refuse? The judge asked coldly. Aaron took a step closer. Then Earth stops playing defense. The room stirred. The track judge whispered, they have no fleet strong enough to threaten the council. But the Jorian elder shook his head slowly. They don't need a fleet. He turned to the others. They have humans. Flashback to 6 years ago in the middle of the Crawl War. Aliens invaded Earth's outer colonies easily. Earth lost ships, bases, and lives. The galaxy thought humanity was weak, but then things changed. Human prisoners kept escaping impossible prisons. Human hackers broke into council systems. Human scouts sabotaged ships with nothing but knives and tools. Earth didn't fight fair. They fought smart. The Galactic Council started to fear humans not for their strength, but for their unpredictability. Back to present. Aaron drops the final bomber and lifted the cube one last time. I have copies of this data hidden across 6 systems, he said. Kill me and you'll make me a martyr. Keep me alive and I'll keep talking. A loud beep sounded behind him. Security. Systems were rebooting. The guards were closing in. One guard aimed his rifle. The others followed. The Jorian judge lifted a hand, shouting, Stand down! Too late. One shot fired. The blast rushed toward Aaron's chest, but stopped midair. A shimmering blue shield blocked it. And behind that shield stood Commander Jack's Corps, the leader of Earth's Special Forces. The humans had arrived. Final scene of Part 2. The rescue begins. Jack's Corps lowered the shield generator and stepped forward. Behind him, 5 more Earth soldiers appeared, wearing stealth armor and holding advanced energy rifles. "We came to bring Dr. Vale home," Jack said. "But now, we're staying." Gasps filled the courtroom. The guards didn't move. Too many. Cameras. Too much at stake. Jax turned to Aaron. "You good?" Aaron nodded. "I'm just getting started." The screen zoomed out, showing the human team standing inside the highest court of the galaxy, not as prisoners, but as challengers. The courtroom was still burning with tension. Energy rifles hummed. Alien guards stood frozen. Judges whispered in fear. And right at the center, Aaron Vale stood beside Commander Jack's Corps, the leader of Earth's Special Forces. Aaron looked calm on the outside, but his mind was racing. Everything had happened exactly as planned. Almost. The only thing Aaron had not expected was to still be alive. 2 minutes. Jack's Corps had teleported into the courtroom with 5 elite soldiers. Their black armor shimmered like liquid metal. Their faces were hidden behind smooth helmets. The human tech was completely silent. No sound, no signal, no warning. How did they get past galactic defenses? How did they teleport straight into the most secure courtroom in the galaxy? The answer was simple. They used the 5-second advantage. Flashback. 3 weeks ago, Earth's secret lab. Antarctica. General Hughes walked into the lab with 2 crawl blasters in hand. He placed them on the table in front of Aaron. "These came from the last ambush," Hughes said. "Think you can break them?" Aaron smiled. "I don't want to break them. I want to control them." He connected the blasters to a human processor. The screen lit up with alien code. Within minutes, Aaron found a strange pattern. Their tech needs 0.27 seconds to resync after a power loss. What does that mean? It means if we can cause a pulse outage, even for 5 seconds, we can slide our systems through without being seen. General Hughes crossed his arms. "Like a ghost?" Aaron nodded. "Exactly. A digital ghost." That day, Earth's 5-second tech was born, a weapon not of power, but of timing. Back to the courtroom. President Jack's Corps spoke, his voice deep and calm. "This is no longer a trial. It's a negotiation." One of the judges shouted, "This is an invasion." "No," Aaron interrupted. "This is what happens when you don't let people speak." Suddenly, a new voice echoed from above. "Then let him speak now." All eyes turned upward. Hovering down from the ceiling was an old alien, tall, thin, wearing a robe of silver threads. His eyes were white, his skin pale blue. This was Elder Thalroon, the oldest member of the council. He had not spoken in 50 years. "You remember Earth?" Aaron asked him. The elder nodded slowly. "I visited Earth once, long ago, before the council declared it a chaotic world." "And what did you see?" Jax asked. The elder looked around the chamber. "I saw music played in broken streets. Children dancing during storms, humans laughing during war." He paused. "Your kind is dangerous, but not because of weapons." Everyone listened closely. "You are dangerous because you never stop, not even when you're dying." Suspense. RIC. The court divides. Half the judges were now whispering in fear. The others looked angry. One shouted, "If we let humans win once, they'll never stop pushing." Aaron stepped forward. "We don't want to win, we want to live. But if you force us to choose between silence and survival," he raised the small cube again, "we'll choose chaos every time." Meanwhile, galactic public reacts across planets. Millions were still watching. In Jernak Prime, protest signs rose. "Let humans speak." On Velith Station, alien workers refused to power the weapons factories. In the deep mines of Theros, Earth slaves saw hope. Aaron had started something. a spark that was catching fire. Tension twist. Irek stands again suddenly. A growl echoed. From the far wall, Commander Irek, still bruised, pushed himself to his feet. His eyes were glowing with rage. You think your tricks make you strong? He reached for a hidden dagger in his armor. You dare mock the Krull Empire in our court? The alien lunged again, this time faster. Angrier. Jax aimed his weapon, but Aaron held out a hand. Don't shoot, he said quietly. Aaron stepped forward to face Irek alone. The room went silent at the 5-second trick, Aegean, as Irek charged. Aaron pressed a small button on the side of his boot. A tiny pulse spread through the floor. 5 seconds, that's all he had. Irek's implants blinked. His balance shifted. His armor failed again for just 5 seconds. And Aaron? He didn't fight. He used that short moment to do something else. He slid under the giant alien, rolled behind him, and pulled the power core from Irek's armor. When the lights came back on, Irek collapsed. Out cold. Again. Jaws dropped across the courtroom. One of the judges whispered, "This is why they are dangerous." Aftermath. The court begins to fracture. Elder Thalrun stood tall. This trial is no longer lawful. The council has broken its own rules. He pointed at Aaron. This human may have started with stolen tech, but now he carries something greater. What? Asked a younger judge. Leverage. Aaron stepped forward once more. I don't want your seats. I don't want your power. He looked around. I want your respect, and if you won't give it, Earth will take it anyway. Final moments, quiet before the next Stormjacks received a signal in his earpiece. He nodded at Aaron. It's time. The fleet is ready. What fleet? A guard asked, confused. Jax looked up toward the ceiling. You'll see. But before anything else could happen, a hologram flashed in the air. Another alien fleet had just arrived in orbit, but it wasn't an enemy fleet. It wasn't Council forces. It was rebels, aliens from other planets, tired of the Council's control, had arrived. They sent one message: we stand with Earth. The courtroom, once a place of quiet judgment, now felt like the center of a storm. Aaron Vale stood tall. Commander Jax and the human special forces were by his side. Around them, the alien guards had lowered their weapons. Even the council judges, once proud and powerful, now looked uncertain. But all eyes were on one person, the oldest being in the chamber, Elder Thalrun. His skin glowed with pale blue light. His eyes were completely white. He wore no armor, no weapon, just a silver robe that shimmered like water. But when he spoke, the whole chamber listened. The Elder speaks. I know Earth, Thalrun said quietly. The words hung in the air like a blade over a table. I visited your world before this council was even formed. He slowly stepped down from his high seat, walking toward Aaron. I was younger then, curious and reckless. I arrived expecting to see chaos and war. I expected to see fear. He stopped just a few steps from Aaron. But what I saw was different. Aaron remained still. Jax glanced at the guards, ready for any move. But no one attacked. Thalrun continued. I saw humans dancing in broken streets, helping each other in the middle of storms, building fires in the dark, smiling. After pain, he turned to the council. You called them savages, but you never truly watched them. You never listened to them. Flashback to 300 years ago, Thalrun on Earth. The skies were red from pollution. Fires burned across cities. The world was healing after its third global war, and yet, Thalrun had seen a group of children in the ruins of an old town. Their homes were destroyed. Their parents were gone, but they weren't crying. They were building a swing from broken power cables and a fallen beam. Laughing, playing, sharing scraps of food. He had asked one child, why do you smile when you've lost everything? The boy replied, because we're still here. That moment never left Thalrun. Back to the present, the council is divided. Some judges shook their heads. One said, "That was long ago. Earth is violent now." Another added, "They stole technology. They broke our laws." Thalrun raised his voice for the first time. "You fear humans not because they are evil, but because they do what you won't. They adapt, they rise, they resist." He looked at Aaron again. "This one is proof." Aaron responds, quiet but powerful. "I didn't come here to destroy your court," Aaron said. "I came because you destroyed ours. You took our people, our scientists, our children." He raised the cube again. "This device doesn't just show crimes. It shows that the truth can't stay buried forever." Rebellion brews outside far above the courtroom. Ships from alien rebel groups began to appear. These were not official council forces. These were ships from small planets, broken colonies, and outlawed nations. They had all heard Aaron's message. Now, they had come to stand by him. One ship sent a message across all channels. "Earth woke us up. The council no longer speaks for us." The council cracks. Panic spread among the judges. One shouted, "We must call the Central Fleet." Another screamed, "Seal the court, lock it down." But Thalrun raised a single hand, and the room went silent. "Enough," he said. Final judgment from the elder. "For centuries we've ruled through fear." Thalrun said, slowly walking back to the center, "We called it order. But it was silence." He turned to Aaron. "Human, what do you ask of us now?" Aaron stepped forward. "I want 3 things. First, release all human prisoners from council labor camps. Second, remove the sanctions on Earth. And third, give Earth a seat in this court." The judges gasped. "That is madness," one shouted. "They are not ready," said another. But Thalrun turned. "No, we are the ones not ready." He looked out at the entire courtroom. "If we do not evolve, we will fall." Twist. Not all agree suddenly. One of the younger judges pressed a red crystal on his desk. Alarms blared. Security override activated. A guard shouted. From the floor, hidden gates opened, and dozens of elite council enforcers marched out in full armor. Their leader said only 2 words: "Terminate all threats." Final scene. Chaos returns. Jax raised his rifle. Aaron activated the pulse device again. 5 seconds. The courtroom darkened. Weapons failed. But this time, it wasn't enough. The enforcers had backup systems. They kept coming. One fired a pulse grenade. Aaron and Jax dove behind a bench as the explosion rocked the chamber. Guards began fighting rebel aligned. Aliens. Screams. Lights flashing. The court was falling into civil war. Thalrun shouted, "Protect the human!" But it was too late. A blast knocked Aaron backwards. Blood on his lip. Hearing gone. The last thing he saw was Jax being pulled into a firefight. And above, on the ceiling screen, a message flashed in bold: "Civil order collapsing." The Galactic Court was now a battlefield. Smoke filled the chamber. Lasers flashed across the air. Alien guards fought rebel soldiers. Security bots buzzed like angry bees. Screams echoed off the walls. Aaron Vale crawled behind a broken energy bench. Blood trickled from his forehead. His pulse device was destroyed, crushed under falling rubble. His ears rang from the blast that had thrown him. He looked around, but couldn't see Jack's core anymore. "Stay alive," Aaron whispered to himself. "The truth still needs to be told." And in his jacket, beneath the smoke and fire, the second cube was still safe. The footage the council never wanted the galaxy to see. The secret file. Black Archive Code Z173. 2 years ago, a rogue alien engineer had smuggled data to Earth. Data stolen from the council's Black Archive's records of crimes so brutal they had been erased from history. Aaron had studied that footage every night in secret labs. He had watched humans experimented on in underground labs, children sold to weapons contractors, entire Earth colonies wiped out, and blamed on accidents, and worst of all, a council order labeled Clean Sweep Titan Base. That was the attack that had killed Aaron's wife. That was the day he stopped being a scientist and became a soldier of truth. Back in the courtroom, rebels break in, upper dome of... The courtroom exploded with a loud boom. A group of alien rebels dropped from the ceiling in zero-gravity suits. Their armor was painted with red stripes, the symbol of the Unity Front, a growing alliance of species rising against the Council. Their leader, a scar-faced woman named Kale Reese, pointed toward Aaron. "Get him!" She shouted. "He holds the trigger!" Two rebels ran toward him, grabbing his arms and pulling him out of cover. "You're Aaron Vale?" Kale asked. "Yes," he coughed. "And I have what you need." Upload begins. Galactic Broadcast Hack. Kale handed him a portable uplink drive. "Can it connect to the public net?" Aaron asked quickly. "Yes, just plug it into your cube." Aaron removed the second cube from inside his coat, its surface scratched, but still glowing. He connected the drive. A screen opened. Footage classified Galactic. Level 5 security warning. Data corruption detected. Continue. Then Aaron pressed Y. Footage goes live. The galaxy watches. The courtroom's broken screens lit up again. But now they weren't showing the trial. They were showing truth. Across the galaxy, all major broadcast channels were hijacked again. On cargo ships, in city centers, in school halls, on desert planets. Everyone saw the same thing. A human mother screaming as council guards dragged her child away. Miners coughing blood in dark alien caves. A peaceful Earth colony bombed from orbit. And finally, a secret council meeting where one judge said, "Earth's spirit cannot be broken unless we erase them completely." The galaxy went silent. Then it erupted. Uprising spark instantly in less than 20 minutes. A labor moon in the Vetra system overthrew its council governor. Soldiers on Theros laid down their arms and joined. The human cause independent planets began pulling out of the council alliance. Even council-aligned species were turning. Messages poured into the court systems. "We stand with Earth." Council lead. End the labor camps. Human rights equals galactic rights. The council splits inside the broken court. Remaining judges argued. One shouted, "We must shut down the net." Another screamed, "It's too late, we've lost control." Only one voice was calm. Elder Thalrune. He stood over the wreckage. Robes dirty but eyes still glowing. He looked at Aaron, then at Kale Reese, and he said something no one expected. "Earth has won the war of truth." Twist, last desperate move by the council. Suddenly, a red warning signal flashed on the cracked main screen. Emergency Protocol 77. Activated orbital defense grid, charging target. Earth gasps filled the room. Aaron's face turned pale. "They're going to destroy Earth from orbit." Kale looked shocked. "That's genocide." A judge in the corner, now half mad with panic, laughed coldly. "If we cannot rule them, we will erase them." Final scene. Countdown begins from space, above the blue marble of Earth. Long black. Cannons began to unfold from hidden satellites, each one charged with deadly energy. A countdown appeared on all screens. Orbital strike, 9 minutes 45 seconds. And counting. Aaron turned to Kale and Jox, who had just rejoined them, wounded but alive. His hands trembled. "We've come this far. We showed them the truth. But now, we have to stop a weapon that was never meant to be fired." Jox nodded. "Then we hit them back." Aaron looked at the shattered court, at the rebels, at the galaxy watching. "It's time Earth takes the fight to the stars." The countdown was ticking. 9 minutes 44 seconds. Above Earth, hidden satellites began to glow ominously, ready to unleash destruction. Inside the broken galactic court, Aaron Vale, Commander Jack's Corps, and rebel leader Kale Reese gathered with a small team of human and alien fighters. Their mission was clear: Stop the orbital strike. Inside Earth's command ship, the human fleet was already in motion. Ships powered up, engines roaring quietly in the void. General Hughes spoke to the fleet commanders. We have less than 10 minutes to disable the satellite weapons. This is our last chance. Aaron stood beside Hughes, holding a data pad. Our technology is limited, he said. But if we use the 5-second pulse to blind their sensors, we can get close enough to destroy the core. Jocks tightened his armor. Straps, this won't be easy, he said. The Council won't let us near without a fight. The fleet moves out. Hundreds of ships slipped silently through space. Humans, rebels, even some aliens tired of the Council's rule, all united. As they approached the satellite ring around Earth, enemy fighters swarmed to intercept. Battle begins. Lasers fired across the empty void. Explosions lit the darkness. Ships twisted and turned, dodging deadly blasts. Jakes led a squadron through the chaos. We move fast, he said. Hit the power nodes, then the core. Aaron monitored the countdown. 7 minutes left. The 5-second pulse. Again, at the critical moment, Aaron activated the pulse device. Power in the enemy satellites flickered and died. Sensors went blind. Jox's team surged forward. Inside the satellite core, Aaron, Jox, and Kale entered the satellite's control room through an airlock. The core pulsed with dangerous energy. Aaron rushed to the control panel. Help me plant the charges, he ordered. Kale and Jox covered the doorway as guards tried to break in. Countdown versus countdown. The satellite core's internal timer showed 5 minutes left. Aaron's fingers flew over the console. He bypassed firewalls and security protocols. Charges set, he said, voice tense. Time to get out, Jax urged. Escape under fire. As they ran back to the airlock, enemy soldiers blocked the way. A fierce firefight broke out. Kale fired rapidly, taking down attackers. Jakes covered Aaron, pushing through the chaos. The blast outside. The charges detonated. A massive explosion tore through the satellite ring. Energy beams went dark. The orbital strike was stopped. Victory, for now. Back on Earth's command ship, cheers erupted. The countdown stopped at 1 minute 12 seconds. Aaron looked at the screens. This was only the beginning, he said. The Council will not give up easily. Final scene in the ruined Galactic Court. Elder Thalrune spoke to the remaining judges. We stand at a crossroads. He looked at Aaron. Human, your fight is the galaxy's fight now. Aaron nodded. We will keep fighting, not for power, but for freedom. The screen faded as the war for the galaxies future grew ever more dangerous. The destruction of the orbital strike satellites had sent a clear message. Earth was no longer weak. It was time to fight back. Across the galaxy, on many planets, secret meetings were held. Groups tired of the Galactic Council's harsh rule gathered. They shared Iran's footage. They spoke of freedom. The Galactic Rebellion was born, on Earth in a hidden base. Aaron met with rebel leaders and Earth commanders. General Hughes said, "The Council will strike back. We must unite all who want freedom." Kale Reese stepped forward. "The Unity Front stands ready. We bring fighters from the outer systems." Aaron nodded. "This is our chance." A new alliance. The rebels formed a council. Humans, crawl defectors, and other species joined. Their goal: to stop the Council's tyranny and free all slaves. First strike. Planning. Jack's Corps laid out the plan. We hit the Council's supply lines. We cut off their weapons. We show the galaxy we mean business. Aaron added, "And we keep exposing the truth." Battle on the frontier. The first rebel fleet attacked the major Council supply base. Explosions lit the stars. Rebel ships fought bravely, though outnumbered. They fought smarter. Council's response: the Council was furious. They sent their best fleets to crush the rebellion, but their forces were divided. Some commanders refused to fight humans openly. Inside the court, Elder Thalrune called for peace talks. We cannot win by war alone. But many judges disagreed. A new war was coming. Final scene: Aaron stood on the bridge of a rebel ship. Stars stretched before him. He thought of Earth. Still free. Still fighting. He turned to Jax. This is just the beginning. The galaxy will remember this day. Jax smiled. Then let's make history. The galaxy held its breath. The war between the Galactic Council and the rising rebellion was about to reach its peak. The rebel fleet approaches the Council's homeworld. Aaron Vale stood on the command bridge of the flagship Liberator. Around him, hundreds of ships formed a protective shield. The Council's capital planet, Jorian Prime, glowed ahead, its cities shining like stars. The Council had declared this a battle for survival. Inside the Council chambers, the judges gathered for an emergency session. Elder Thalrune stood tall but weary. We face our greatest test, he said softly. Young ones, it is time to decide. The human message. Aaron sent a final transmission to the Council. His voice calm but strong. We don't want to destroy you. We want peace, fairness, and truth. He showed all the hidden footage again. The crimes, the lies, the slavery. This is your chance. The battle begins suddenly. Council warships opened fire. Explosions lit the darkness of space. The rebels fought fiercely. Jax led a squadron through enemy lines. Aaron directed the battle with sharp focus. Turning point: during the fight, Aaron's ship was hit. Alarms blared. Systems flickered. But Aaron stayed calm. With Kale Reese and Jax protecting him, he activated the last 5-second pulse. The enemy fleet's weapons went dark. The rebels pressed forward. Council's decision back in the chambers. Some judges wanted to surrender. Others wanted total war. Elder Thalrune raised his hand. Enough. He declared a vote. The Council voted to end the war. Peace and change. Council agreed to free all human prisoners, end forced labor programs, give Earth a seat in the Galactic Council, create new laws to protect all species. Final scene: Aaron looked out at the stars. Jax stood beside him. We fought not just for Earth, Aaron said, but for every voice silenced by fear. The galaxy was changing. And for the first time in a long time, hope shone bright. The end.